to evaluate that situation, right? You owe it to yourself to write down a budget and say, okay, what can I do better to improve my situation? If you complain that your situation needs to change. Now, if you're complaining that the situation needs to change, but you don't want to put any work in or don't want to do anything, then really you're just complaining for the sake of complaining. But if you're complaining and you're looking for solutions, then you have to be your best friend. You have to be your best friend in this situation, because oftentimes, a lot of time, people are their worst enemies in this type of situation. And with the credit game, the credit card will give you a card all day long. They don't care. Even if they charge it off, they still get their money. They get a form of that money because the debt gets bought back. Because when a collection agency buys that debt, they pay a percentage of that money to buy that debt. So the consumer still loses in the end.
Exactly. And then I hear a lot of people talk about, like, our services. It's a $99 activation fee, and it's $89 a month.
All right.
And what I hear the most is, oh, I can't afford that. But I tell them you cannot afford it when your credit is bad, because the interest rate you're paying on some of your credit cards or the harassments that you're getting stress-wise from collection agency outweighs more than $89 a month.
You're right. Collection agents are very aggressive as well. Very aggressive. Man, they got a slick thing now, right? They'll call you. They'll be like, Shelton? Be like, yeah, what's up? Hey, this is so-and-so at NWO Collection Agency. We need that money. I'm like, that's how but how it goes is that, how collection goes is that if they get you to admit that debt is yours, then all of a sudden then they're liable to hold you on the phone, right? They can legally hold you on the phone and talk to you about this debt because, hey, he said it was him. Because before they used to be like, hey, man, I speak to, Shelton or whatever. Now they just like, hey, Shelton, like they're your best friend calling or somebody. They real
exactly.
Slick. They real slick.
Exactly. And the other thing that people, you can tell them all day long, oh, don't call me back anymore, remove me from your calling list. They can do that. But the only thing that's going to happen is they're going to send it back to the original creditor, and they're going to just find another collection agency to send it to, and you're just going to keep with the same cycle over and over and over.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you should get tired of being called from a different bill collector every other month.
Right. If the debt is verified, then they legitimately have a reason to call you because the debt is verified. But but as you say though, when you deal with companies like a slave bad credit or whatever, they'll teach you and they'll hook you up with people that will give you the information to, well, okay, we can negotiate a deal, or we can do what they do, pay for delete type deal or something. You don't have, even if it's legitimately yours, there's ways to negotiate the deal. They're willing to talk. They're willing to have the conversation with you. But a lot of times these collectors, they get paid upon getting everything that's owed on a particular credit report. They get paid for collecting those fees and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're going to come at you very aggressively. And if you have any form of intimidation or that you really fearful of that, they're going to that's like blood in the water to sharks. They're going to definitely attack you then because they know that they can convince you.
Right. And with slave bad credit being in the protection plan program, we have attorneys that will speak and deal with those aggressive collection agencies that do not understand the laws. So that is all included in your $89 a month that you're paying for. When you invest in yourself, then we help you get the best of your investment.
Solid. That's what it's about. Investing in yourself. Then they're going to invest in you. Then you can start buying some investments.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, though, man. That's what it's about, though, man. I mean, living your purpose that you feel like your purpose is, and giving back and giving information and really helping people from a grassroots perspective, and just really just kind of breaking it down to them to help them feel comfortable as they go through. Because one thing about bad credit, it's embarrassing when you pull your credit report, and sometimes you really are excited about trying to get something, and then they pull the score because you're unfamiliar with what's on there because you hadn't really looked at it and saw that as important, and they pull up the score like, hey, what about this, what about this, what about that? It almost make you kind of embarrassed because you're an adult, and then you'll have a score that low, and then they'll make you almost feel embarrassed. How they look at you basically like, why are you even coming here wasting our time? You're right. And so therefore, if you deal with slave bag credit, you get the information. So next time you go into that particular dealership or whatever you're trying to do, right? You're going with a plan. You're going with a better score. You're going with no embarrassment. I mean, you're going knowledgeable about what you want, and then you can pretty much set your own plan. You can possibly even hook up with a credit union, have them finance the vehicle, and already have the financing in place before you even show up because you took the necessary steps. But when you come to places in a desperate situation, yeah, they'll give you a car, but it's going to be higher than a son of a gun. And you're going to be paying every week. And it'll be a total note, and they probably won't put it on your credit report until they end up having to repossess the car. Because that's what some of them do as well.
And that is so true. And people don't understand some of these total note places, they don't report to the credit bureau while you're in good standing.
Nope.
But like you say, the second they have to repossess it, then it's placed on your credit report as a repossession.
That's how they do you. That's how they do you.
Because
if you do on the first,
they're trying to make it inconvenient for you to get something different because basically they want you to come back to them and establish another type of deal with them to get your car back and then to get money. And I mean, that's how the cycle works. And when you don't have good credit, you're not in a position to do any negotiations, just accepting what's offered.
Well, you have no negotiating power if you need something from them, unless you have cash, right? Your negotiating power isn't there because they looked at your report. They know the reports. They know how many inquiries that are on there. They know you went to 10 different car lots in 10 different days. All of them told you no. So they know when you come to them, you're in a desperate situation. Yeah, we got a vehicle for you. And then what do they always say? Just keep it for a year, 6 months. Reestablish your credit. And then you can come back and get what you want. But what happens most of the time?
But that doesn't work because what happens is people are a creature of habit.
Right.
So what happens is that you've gotten this car or vehicle and you're paying $500 a month. And because that car is of importance to you, you figured out a way to put it in your budget to ensure that it gets paid. And so it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it mentality.
Yep. But sometimes that will leave us broke. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes we need
mentality
to fix it.
Will get you broke. Exactly.
You see what I'm saying, though? It will get you broke. So we have to break that. First of all, what we have to do is break that thought process. We have to break the idea of how people view money, how people view finances, how people view credit. You know, some people view it as very nonchalant and unimportant and doesn't matter. Some view it as, I'm on it, I'm on top of it, I know everything about it. Because again, they understand that what you can gain, not material possessions, but if you want a business one day, if you want to get business credit, if you want to own your own business, you want to be able to get a rental property, if you want to just be able to just look and say, hey, I got a 700 something credit score and I finally got a black card, not to use it, not for bragging purposes. These are all about things to break the chain, to break those chains, to get that economic acumen up, to get that, to have those positive conversations rather than, hey, child, hey, what's going on today? Child, I'm going through too. You know, we got to be tired of going through, okay? Because if we've been saying we going through for all these years, we should be on the other side of it by now. If we steady going through, where's the other side?
Yeah, well, you can't expect a different outcome when you're doing the same input.
Garbage in, garbage out. I mean, as far as our mindset, as far as our habits, as far as our eating habits, like I said, we eat unhealthy, we're going to have unhealthy results, right? So even if we practice unhealthy financial behavior, we're going to have unhealthy financial results. And then what we're going to do is raise and have unhealthy offspring that's going to have unhealthy attitudes toward finances, economics, credit, because they saw the people that were supposed to nurture them, ho-hum, doesn't matter, you figure it out. And so then you have a lot of people right now, millennials, older people or whatever, younger people, just in general, that didn't have that conversation. They're not teaching this in school. They're not teaching this in colleges. There's a reason why they're not teaching this. And I talk to people about this all the time, and they're like, "Oh man, you're paranoid, or you conspiracy theorists." No, dude. There's a reason why they're not teaching this. Because if everybody had an understanding of what credit was and how it works and all that, you couldn't charge me 25% interest rate. There's no need for a payday loan. Title loan, what the heck is a title loan place? I don't need that. You don't need that. There wouldn't be any predatory lending. I couldn't legitimately say, well, it's going to cost you this because your credit is bad. So it's a reason why, and people benefit from your lack of knowledge. So the purpose of these shows, the purpose of this information is for people not to benefit from your lack of knowledge anymore. If you listen to the show, you cannot say you don't know. If you have questions, comments, place them. I placed the advertisement out for the show every week. You have comments, you have questions, anything that's on your mind that we're not clearly stating to you that you feel like you want to understand even further, let us know. And if we don't have the answers, we will definitely do the research to get the answer to you. Or put you in contact with individuals that can get you the answers that you want. Because that's what this whole thing is about. Not just keep looking back saying how bad it is. What can we do to fix it?
Exactly.
What can we do to fix it? What can we do to fix it? They
can always ask questions on the Instagram. They can always ask questions on the Facebook page. Even if you need to email me, it's slaybackcredit@gmail.com.
Say it again. Give it to them again. slaybackcredit@gmail.com. Hit her up. Questions. Because that's about the point. Being transparent, giving information. Not being so big-worded it, if you will, to where it just goes all over your head and you're not trying to understand it. Because if you don't understand it, then you can't benefit from our services. And then you won't say good things about the services because you never fully understood the services. So it's all about getting it. No, not even an understanding. I'll say I'm not going to do that anymore. I want to overstand. Let's get us an overstanding. Let's overstand. Let's overstand this information, and therefore we can be better from it, and then we can go pass this information down to other individuals, and then they can overstand as well. And then we take those excuses away. We can take that away. Anything else that you got for the people before I let you go? I know. I'm mindful of your time. Is there anything else you want to stress to the people? Any highlights, high points you want to say before we get up out of here?
No, just make sure y'all got your calendars marked for May the 20th, and stay tuned for additional details. And like you say, if you have any questions, anything that you'd like to hear on the show, you can always email me again at slaybackcredit@gmail.com, or you can find me on Facebook on the Facebook page Slayback Credit. You can find me on Instagram at Slayback Credit. Or you can go onto my website at www.slaybackcredit.com. Or you can call me 713-701-1311. And we'll help you get that budget together and help you slay that bad credit.
That's what I'm talking about. That's like a big target. You just can't miss it. Slay Bad Credit is everywhere. You can connect with it in so many different kind of ways. Thank you again for your time. Man, people, listeners, fans, thank you all so much. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for listening to these shows. I encourage you to please share the shows. Let the people know about what we're talking about out here. Let people know what we're thinking about. Let people know that we're out there passionate about making change, being the change that we want to see. That's what it's about. Want for your brother or your sister, but you want for yourself. Reach one. Teach one. We're going to get there. Guarantee. Keep on pushing everybody. Thank you again for your time, Miss Davis. Thank you. Listen to the shows. This is Miss Shelton J. Think About It Radio. Mondays. Hit me up. Think About It Radio at yahoo.com. At Think_Radio on Twitter. Think Radio on Instagram. Shout out to everybody. May 20th, Crockett, Texas, 12 noon to 3 p.m. The Lewis Circle Conference Room. First annual economic conference. There will be more. There will be more. Tell everybody. Much love to you all. Slay Bad Credit. You guys get a hold of her. Much love to you guys. Peace.